They say you can walk your dog and you can walk your bass lines, but you can't bass your dog lines. What? That's gotta be the dumbest thing I've ever What's up, y'all? Today we're talking about walking bass lines, a foundation of tons of country, rockabilly, and roots music rhythm patterns. I'm going to try to show you a couple of bass notes that are in almost every walking pattern that we're going to cover today, and then you're really just adding one or two notes to add a little flavor to those lines. A lot of it will also come down to how you pick it, your rhythm. Are you doing eighth notes, quarter notes? Are you walking up and then walking back down? There's just thousands of variations, but we're going to try to keep it simple today and just see where this thing takes us. So I'm going to stop yapping and we're going to pull in close and we're going to get to work. So let's go. Hey y'all, cutting in here because I'll totally forget, but please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. Thanks again to everyone who's commented so far and kind of helped me figure out how to do some of this a little bit better. We're just going to keep getting better at guitar and making lessons. So I'm going to shut up and we'll get back to the lesson. See ya. All right, guys. So the main thing you have to think about with a walking bass line is a lot of it is around the root, the major third, and the fifth. Okay, everything kind of works around that. So this first example is going to be an E, and we're just going to start with an open E. Then we're going to go to the 4th fret on the E string for an A flat, which is your 4th. And then we're going to go to the 2nd fret A string, which is a B. And so what it sounds like is this. Now and then if you're going to go to the A, you would just drop down one set of strings. And you get also the same thing. We're going to do the A, the D flat, which is the major third, and then we're going to get that E, which is the 5th of A, and you get okay. So let's do that again. We'll go from E to A. So the next part of this walking bass line, you're going to have to move around a little bit more, but the pattern is still the same, and we're going to do it for the B. So if you think about it, your E note, it starts up here at the 0 fret or the nut, right? And then to get to a major third, we're doing 2 whole steps. Remember that each fret is a half step, so half, whole, half, whole. So 4 frets, 1, 2, 3, 4 gets you a major third. So for the B, we start at the 2nd fret, we walk up 4 frets to the E flat, and then we do that same pattern of down 2, up 1 to get the F sharp, the B, there. So the way to think about this pattern is it's always note, 4 frets up, will get you the 3rd. To get your 5th from the root, you would go down 1 string and up 2. So you're always in this pattern here. So for B, like that. So let's go through E and A. So E, A, and then the B is so that's what you've got to think about. Your 3rd is always 4 frets up. Your 5th is always down a string and up 2 frets. So we did the A, right? And And so I can also do that here. If my A is here, so to get that walking pattern, it's whatever you want to do. If I wanted to do it in G, I would hit my G here, up 4 notes, or up 4 frets, excuse me. Then I'm getting that 5th right there, back to there, to your major 3rd, and back to my root. So it's root, major 3rd, 5, major 3rd, root. So you can do that anywhere with whatever you want to do. If I wanted to do D here, maybe I want to do C. Then I can go back to G up here. So this works, if you're using the cage system, this works with any time you're using that E shape. I don't want to get into the cage system too much, but if you're doing that, you can get it from there. Basically, your root starts here. That also works on the A string. And so that's your very basic 1, 3, 5, 3, 1 walking bass line. So something else to think about, right? We're also doing this in thirds. So if I'm at A, I also have the 3rd right here. So when your major 3rd from A is either 4 frets up, or it's back, it's 1 fret down and 1 string up. So here, think about it as that G shape in the cage. So you could go, and so you're saying to yourself, Adam, why would I do that when I can just use an open string and go? That's a good question. It's really just dependent on what you're doing at the time. Like maybe you need to be up here for fingerings for the next thing you're gonna do. It's really just case by case specific. Okay. So we made it through the basics, which is you're just outlining a major, or you're outlining the major triad. So in E, we're going to stick in E because it allows us to do this B movement. So remember in E, the major triad was E, A flat, B. Okay? So now we're going to jazz this up and add the 6th. So this is going to be, so the 6th, right? So we have the 5th here. The 6th just lays really nicely with our middle finger 2 frets up. In this case, a D flat for the E. So in this case, we're going to run through, I'm going to run through it and then we'll talk about it. So we would go. Okay, so that gets you the 6th in there. So now you're going root, 3rd, major 3rd, 5th, 6th, and then you're going back to your E. So a way to think about this, right, is you have 4 beats to a measure. So we're trying to kind of keep it in groupings of 4. In the first one, our 4 notes were 1st, 3rd, 5th, 3rd. But in this next one, we're replacing that 2nd, 3rd with a 6th. So we get 1st, 3rd, 5th, 6th. Now this is a really common one, so you'll see that one a lot. So you want to try that again. The same rules apply, right? So if I was in G, I would go 1st, 3rd, 5th, 6th. So this one, this shape I like because then I can slide into that 3rd, so you kind of get. So you'll notice I'm kind of already adding some embellishments to it. So I'm sliding into the third. When I hit the fifth, I'm hammering on to the sixth. So for every one of these, I'm kind of hitting it twice. So I'm doing 2 eighth notes. So 8, 8, 8, 8. So you can play it like that, or you can do the sliding thing I was doing. Okay, so when we add that sixth, right, you might notice that from Elvis's Don't Be Cruel, right? It's like, all it is those patterns we were just talking about. The root, major third, fifth, sixth. Okay, so that's a very popular one, so give that one a try. All right, we've already done 2 versions. Let's add 1 or 2 more. Let's do 1 more here where we're gonna add a flat 7, which kind of gives it a dominant 7 sound. So same thing, right? So root, third, fifth, sixth, 7. We're walking it back down. So let me play through it and then we'll talk about it. Ready? So that one, like I said, we're just laying additional things into what we've already built upon. So root, third, fifth, sixth, 7, flat 7, excuse me. Now, the rhythm for that is like 1. So this is actually taking 2 measures, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so that's some things to think about. They all can kind of fit in different places. Something you can also do, so one more quick variation. So instead of hitting that flat 7, we're going to hit the octave, which in this case is right here on the 2nd fret, E. So in this case, we're going to go root, third, fifth, 6, octave, 6, 5, 3, root. And that sounds like this. Okay, so remember, you're just building off of root, major third, fifth, and then you can add in a 6. You can add a 6 and a 7. You can add a 6 and a octave up, an 8, I guess you would call it. Any of those kind of things you want to do, you're going to be outlining some different things and it'll sound really good. Now, remember, there's also the possibility of those embellishments where you're sliding into the third, hitting the fifth, hammering onto the 6th. You'll really just kind of have to play with it. So the main pattern to remember is this pattern of your root, 4 frets up, 2 frets down and 1 over. Then you've got your 6 and 7 right there. They lay in really nice with your pinky and your ring finger. Now if you want that octave, it's going to be just 1 down from your 5th. Like that. So getting to know your intervals and your notes is going to be infinitely important for this. So that works whether your root is on the E string the A string and the D string. So you can use that pattern all over. And then there's also two more patterns I'm just going to show you really quickly. There's one based off of that G shape in the cage system, if you were going to call it. So let's do all three patterns in A, and then you can just go work on it yourself. So there was the bass pattern that I was talking about. And you can also go this way. You could go where you're kind of going backwards. And then you could also go wherever you want to go with that third. A lot of times for me, the fingerings, it really depends on what I'm doing with everything. So try it everywhere. Okay, we're going to work through one more pattern, which you'll recognize from Rock This Town. So I'm going to play it real quick, and then we'll walk through it. Ready? Okay. Same thing, don't let it throw you. We're still just working with the root, the third, and the fifth. Now you'll notice in this progression, or excuse me, in this pattern, you're going from the third and you're walking up chromatically to the fifth. And then you're walking back down chromatically. And that gets you Rock This Town. There you have it, y'all. Once you get used to the patterns for walking bass lines, it's not too bad. You just realize it's really just based on a major triad of the root, the third, and the fifth, and then you're just kind of adding extra tasty things on top of it, right? Everything comes back to a major or minor triad, I feel like, at the end of the day. So thanks again for everybody that subscribed. It's been really awesome doing these lessons. Thank you everyone who's commented. That's how I got the idea for this lesson, was someone asked more about bass lines. So I was like, let's do it. So hopefully you found it helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, feed that YouTube algorithm. And don't forget, it's hard. Guitar can be tough, so just take your time, play a little bit. If you get frustrated, sit it down for a minute, go have a Coke or whatever your preferred beverage is, and pick it back up and try again. Before you know it, you'll be playing along with so many things. You'll be so surprised how much of these bass lines work into everyday songs that you hear. So thanks again, everybody. Keep playing, and I'll talk to you next time.